I made a bunch of really cool upgrades to my automated task tracker that I'm obsessed with. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to set up your new template. And this is really designed for people that purchased a template at sheetsbyolin.com on my website already pre-built. If you haven't already purchased it, you can either go purchase it now, or I do have a full tutorial showing exactly how to build this from scratch on my YouTube channel if you'd rather go that route. But the first thing you're going to do is you're going to make a copy. And the reason why you have to make a copy is because if I just gave you access, it would update the template based off of your edit. So you need to make a copy by clicking make a copy. And now you'll have a template that is only editable by you. So I don't have access to it. Nobody else has access to it except for you. Let's go ahead and click up here to rename it. You can rename it as whatever you want. This will not change anything. So I'm going to go ahead and put Olin's task tracker, for example. And we have a live version for you to edit. So in this video, I'm not going to go into exactly how to use it. I have a separate video for that, and I'll make sure I link that video. But this is exactly how to set it up. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go to recurring, and this is where all of our recurring tasks are going to lie. But before we get into any of the recurring tasks, let's go ahead and authorize the automation, which lives in this extensions app script, but you don't need to actually go into there. We can simply click on add trigger. Once you click add trigger, it will say authorization required. And the reason why authorization is required is because the code is making edits to the spreadsheet on your behalf. So it will automatically add recurring tasks while you're sleeping. It will move tasks from one list to another list. It will add tasks from the task bundles to your task list and so forth. So simply click on OK and then select all. And this is just standard confirmation that you're authorizing it to make changes on your behalf and press continue. So that's all you have to do there. So now it's authorized. And I'm going to go ahead and exit this dialog box for a second to explain this portion to you. So if you work Monday through Friday like I do, all you have to do is check the box on your add trigger under Monday through Friday. And this is already preloaded for you. And the 2 right here is what time of the day it's going to be added. So this is 2 as in 2 a.m. If you want it to be added at 6 a.m. or 12 a.m. or whatever the case is, you can do that. But for me, I put it at 2 a.m. So what this is going to do is for our daily tasks, this is going to add every single day that we have selected at this time. And if you're not on a regular schedule, all you have to do is change it each week. So if you work Monday through Friday this week, then you work Tuesday through Saturday the next week, you can simply click on add trigger and it will delete the triggers that are already there. And then it will create the trigger based off of the new days that you have selected. Now by default, it's already going to be in New York time zone. And that's because I created it and I'm in New York. And that's pulling from this file settings. You can see right here, Eastern time zone. But if you click on trigger, it will default to whatever time zone that you're in based off of your computer. So if you're using a VPN or if you're traveling, it's not going to pick up the correct time possibly, but it should 99% of the time detect whatever time zone you're in. So if it does that correctly, all you have to do is say, yes, that's correct. If it doesn't, for whatever reason, you can say that's not right. And then you can select from this time zone list whatever you're actually in. So let's say I'm actually in Barcelona, so that's Central European time. I can select that. I can say use this time zone. And then on the back end, it's going to take a few seconds, but it's creating those triggers in that app script, so you don't have to save that step for you. And it's updating the time based off of the time zone that I selected. So you can see right here, it was successfully added. Time zones Europe, Paris. How many days I put is 5 because I selected 5 days. And now detected time zone Europe, Paris. If I go to file settings, it's showing Paris right there. But I'm in New York, so I'm going to go ahead and just update that. And it will automatically overwrite what I just did with the details that are accurate to me. Perfect. Focus options right here. These are going to be what pulls in for the task focus. So task focus is blank until you add something right here. And the focus options are what area of your position this task is correlated with. So I'm in revenue operations, for example. So I can put enablement, I could put tool configuration, I could put increased profitability, and so forth. Whenever I add something here, it's automatically going to flow in right here. If these are fixed, you're never going to change them, you can click on this little pencil and add some colors to this. It's entirely up to you. For task focus, I personally leave them blank. The progress options are going to be standardized. You don't really want to change these. If you do change these, you'll need to go into the automation code and extensions app script. And when you click on there, you'll see all this code. This is what powers all the automations. I'll go over this in future videos so you know exactly what you're looking at and how to make these different key changes if you do want to change something like that. But for now, know that progress options, leave these as is unless you want to make some edits. Priority options are customizable, and the order that you have it listed right here is where the priority is going to take place. And what I mean by that is whenever you add a task to the task list, it's automatically going to sort by the deadline, and then it will sort based off of the priority after that. So by default, we have recurring on top and then top. If you wanted to swap these, for example, Then it's going to sort where if there's multiple on the same deadline, it will show top before recurring. And this will make more sense when you watch the how to use video, but just going over that right now. So that's really all you need to know right here. Let's go ahead and add a couple of recurring tasks. So by default, you're going to put recurring because they're recurring tasks. You can select this little fill handle and drag that down, and you can put however many you want. Progress will always be not started, and then priority will always be recurring. We'll put task one, and then we can go ahead and drag those down. Obviously, you would put whatever task details you have right here. And the task list is going to be just a short summary of what the task is. You don't want to put too much context. You only want to put the actual short details that you have right there. Days to complete. This is how many days you want to complete it once it's added. So if you want it to be completed the same day that it's added, you'll put a 1. If you want it to be completed the day after, you'll put a 2. And if you want it to be completed, let's say 5 days after, you can put a 5. If you have a website that you want to add, so let's say I want to add my website, I could put that there. If it's something that's inside Google, you can either add it with just the general URL, or if you have it in chip form, it will still work. I personally like chip form because it gives a nice little summary of what's going on, and it makes it a little bit easier to read, but you can do whatever. Task focus, you'll put whatever the task focus is related to this task. And then that's it for the actual task. So columns A through G, this is what's actually going to be added to your task list when recurring tasks are added. Columns H through L, this is what's going to determine when they're added. So there's 3 different types. There's position, day, period, last added, and next add. What you pick will depend on what you want. So if you want it to be a daily task, all you need to do is select day. And you'll see under next add, it says daily based off of the trigger schedule. So this would be based off of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's when my daily tasks are configured based off of my triggers. But if I want it to be on Monday instead, like I said, all you have to do is just update the triggers. You can also go based off of week. If you go based off of week, you can put Monday, for example. And I'm filming this on August 15th, which is a Saturday. So my next Monday is August 17th. So it will be added on that Monday. If I want to be on a specific day, so for example, if I want it to be on the 15th, I'll put 15, but then I'll also put month, and this will be the 15th of that month, which is today. Or I could put Wednesday, for example. I could put first, second, third, fourth, last. So let's say I want it to be on the third Wednesday of the month. It will automatically calculate when that task needs to be added again. And if you double click right here, you can see that the 19th is the third Wednesday of August. And this also works for quarters. So the third Wednesday of the quarter, you can put the last Wednesday of the quarter, and this will be all the way in September because this is Q3. And you can also do the year. So if I want the last Wednesday of the year, it's going to populate to the last Wednesday of the year. So once again, you can configure this to however much you want, and you can kind of play around with it to see exactly what you're going to have. So Tuesday of the week, we'll say the third Thursday of the month, and you can kind of play around with it to whatever you need it to be. Whenever this next add task is the day that it's going to populate on your task list. So this one's going to populate on Tuesday on my task list. This one will populate also on Tuesday because that's my next daily trigger on my task list. This one won't populate till the 20th, and this one won't populate until December 30th. So you can configure these to exactly as you want. This resume date, you can double click right there, and you can put whatever date you want. So this is beneficial when it comes to vacations. So for example, if I'm going on vacation or holiday, and I don't want my task to be added until I get back, I can select resume date. So if I'm returning on the 31st, I'll put the 31st, and then it will pause all my tasks from being added until the 31st, and it will catch up on any tasks that I missed. If I already delegated those out and I no longer need to complete them, I can just delete them from my list. But if I still need to complete them and play catch up once I'm back, it will automatically be there for you, but you won't have a bunch of duplicates while you were gone. So if I have this resume date selected for a future date, and I go to automations, add recurring, it's going to flag down here that recurring tasks are paused until whatever date I have selected. If this is either deleted or a date in the past, then if I selected this, it's going to add anything that's eligible to be completed. This one was added because today is Saturday, and I have Saturdays included in my Saturday trigger. So this is actually the daily task for today. And you can see that the last added date is the 15th. This last added date will flag every time a task is added, so that way you know the last time it was added. And that's just more of an FYI, it doesn't actually do much for you. So let's go ahead and change this to the 15th, for example, just to get some more tasks in there. And then this one right here, let's change this to the month, and we'll say the third Saturday, and that should be the 15th as well. And this one is blank because I have week instead of month, so I'm going to change this to month. So now we have a couple of 15. So I'm going to go ahead and go to automations, add recurring, and any tasks that are currently not added will be there. Now you can see that the deadline right here, this one is the 16th instead of the 15th. The reason why it's the 16th instead of the 15th is because we have two right there instead of the one. And you can also see that all of the URLs populated automatically and the task added date automatically populated based off of what time I added them. For non-recurring tasks, all you have to do is add those manually by putting unplanned. And unplanned just means you did not know about them at the beginning of the week. So unplanned, whatever you put the details are, not started. You can put whatever the priority is. So let's say this one is high. You can double click and put a deadline, or you can leave the deadline blank. It's entirely up to you. Put whatever the configuration is. And whenever you update the deadline, it will automatically resort based off of that new deadline. So if I update this to the 20th, it will automatically sort based off the deadline, and then it will go based off of the priority if there's multiple on the same day. But like I said, I'm not going to get too far into this because that's more of a how you use it type thing. The next thing we're going to do is look at task bundles. This is for recurring tasks that are not on regular cadences. So for example, I work in revenue operations, and when a new hire starts or leaves, I need to take action for their users. So I could put under project options, new hire, and I could put deactivate. And when I do that, if I go to task bundles, you'll see nothing right there. You can either refresh it on the screen itself, or you can go right here and click refresh task bundles, and it's going to automatically update this menu option with whatever you have listed in these project options. Now that you have those listed, you can go ahead and just add whatever. So let's say that these are all unplanned. I'll say create tool, for example. This one right here will be not started, then we'll have priority as top. I want it to be 1 day, and then let's say tool configuration. And then here for project, you'll select whichever one of these projects it will be affiliated with. So we'll put new hire, and I'll just say create tool 1, then I'll say create tool 2, create tool 3, and so forth. We'll just put this for everything. Let's just go like that. New hire, we'll go like that. I'll put deactivate user 1, just so we have a couple of options there. Then I'll go ahead and just select everything right here, drag that down. But for deactivate, I want this to be deactivate instead. So now we're good. We're all set up on that. So basically whatever you want to put that right there. And now if I go back to my task list, go to task bundles. If I click on new hire, it will automatically add all the tasks that are under that project in one swoop, and it will resort them based off of the deadline, the priority, to fit into my specific task tracker so I can prioritize as I need to. And just for a sanity test, go ahead and mark a task as pending. A timestamp should appear under task started. Go ahead and mark it as done, and a timestamp should appear under the done tab. Met deadline will automatically compare the task completed date with the deadline date to see if you completed it on time. And if you didn't, it will say overdue. And then the week start date will automatically extract the Monday of the completed date. So you don't have to do anything with that. And those formulas are right here in columns L and M. So if you change the name, you'll overwrite those formulas and these columns will not work. Let's do one more test. Let's go ahead and say part. And if you mark it as part, it should disappear from this list. Go to the part tab. Whenever you're ready to complete it again, simply mark it as ready, and it will automatically be added to this list, and then it will sort based off of when it needs to happen again, and you're good to go. So setup is fully complete. You have all the information you need to set it up for your position. Make sure to go watch that how to use video so you can see exactly how to use the tracker and all of its different features. If you're having trouble with anything or if there's any features that you want to add, let me know and I'm happy to help. Let me know if you have any questions and like and subscribe for more.